Hey everyone, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I thought I'd come on because there's a lot of cool news coming out of DC right now. They had a little press conference kind of thing, a little update thing for things coming out from the new DC studios. So we're just going to go over a couple of the announcements. I'll share some of my thoughts, and then if you guys have any comments, please leave those down below. If you're watching live, please comment and subscribe and put on that notification bell if you're new here, because we're going to start doing more live streams again. I got better internet, so it's totally possible. But let's get started. So we're not here all day. So they held the new press event at the location where they did the previous event at the same room. They did the slate announcement. Is that 2 years ago now? Gunn said it feels like no time has passed, yet so much has happened, which is true. We already got Creature Commandos, which was the first real installment in the DCU, if you don't count Peacemaker, but we'll get into that. So it was run by James Gunn and Peter Safran. Obviously, they're the ones in charge of DC Studios right now. So they kind of went over their current approach. Obviously, the first year was a lot of growing pains. They had to shift a lot. Things aren't exactly what they said they were going to be. Then just because some things are just impractical and you got to pivot, which is totally fine. They mapped out a 6-year plan that will culminate in major interconnected events, kind of like your Avengers kind of thing. Every project is designed to stand on its own while contributing to the larger DC narrative, which I like. I think obviously that's how Marvel's been doing it for years, but they want to keep an open dialogue. This is a point they made. They want to keep an open dialogue with journalists and fans as part of their strategy, which sets them apart from other, like Marvel, who want to keep things more to themselves. Everybody has their own thing. Obviously, they won't reveal everything coming out, but they'll have more hands-onness with the DC fan community. So this part is a part I really like. They kind of went into how they will start moving forward with projects. And the first thing that they're going to do is, and I really love this, it's quality over haste, or they want to see a completed script or screenplay before they greenlight a project. So they will not. No project is greenlit until Gunn and Safran are fully satisfied with a completed screenplay. So they're not putting the cart before the horse, essentially, and saying things are coming out when there is no script attached yet. And then they're stuck fixing a script as they're going along, which is terrible, and waste time and money. This approach ensures that every film and TV series is built on a solid narrative foundation, which Marvel often announces projects without finished scripts. DC Studios will prioritize the finished script, and I hope they really stick to this, because I think it's going to make all the difference. And a good example of this is the upcoming Clayface movie, which they confirmed is happening. The Clayface film was approved solely on the strength of Mike Flanagan's completed screenplay, even though there were initially no plans for it. So Mike Flanagan, director of a good amount of horror films, very, very prevalent horror director, writer, presented them with a finished script for Clayface, which gave them ideas and how it could fit into the grander DCU, and now it is being greenlit. And we'll get into a little bit behind that project, but that is the approach that they want to take going forward. Give us the script, and we'll tell you if it happens. So they also put in some annual targets: 2 live-action films and 1 animated film per year, 2 live-action TV series and 2 animated TV series per year, which I think is reasonable and acceptable. And these are meant to establish the broader universe without, again, just throwing anything out there, and everything is very deliberate, which is fantastic to hear, because I think Marvel they got caught up playing the numbers game, and now they're suffering from it and getting a lot of bad product or mediocre product. So hopefully DC doesn't fall into that trap and they just work with good quality material. So the first project coming up, obviously, is Superman. It is deep in post-production. We've already gotten the trailers for it and all that stuff. It's scheduled to open in July, and it's positioned to provide the timeless values of honesty, integrity, and protection of the vulnerable. Especially in today's world, they want to perpetuate those ideas. Obviously, we're living in very politically charged times, and so we want to get back to values that stand above and are positive no matter who or where you are. So hopefully Superman does the job. I'm very excited for Superman. July is going to be a very busy month for film lovers, so Superman better be good. That's all I'm saying. Next on the slate is Peacemaker Season 2, which is also in post-production. And it will tie into the DCU, which they will explain. Enjoyed Season 1 very much, so excited for this one. Then we have Supergirl, which is currently shooting. And Lanterns, which is currently shooting. Stars Millie Alcock is going to be Supergirl. And obviously, Lanterns is going to have Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre playing Jon Stewart, which is very, very exciting. Then we have Batman news and the Batman world, all things Batman. So Brave and the Bold is moving forward. It's going to be the first DC Batman film, and it is not going to tie in with the Matt Reeves Batman. This is going to be its own thing. Gunn is highly focused on this project. I think he's going to take this one on. I don't know who's directing it yet. I don't think they nailed the director. We don't know who's Batman. We don't know who's Robin yet. But Batman is very likely not to be Robert Pattinson, which I think is a good move. Keep those separate. Keep Matt Reeves happy and let him do his world, finish out his world, or do whatever he wants. That could be Elseworlds. We could do Elseworlds. But obviously we could do multiverse down the road, and Pattinson can cross over. Speaking of the Batman 2, Matt Reeves has yet to submit a script, which is a little troubling. But I know there's some stuff going on behind the scenes, I think, with him personally. Early feedback has been incredibly encouraging, they say. The movie's release has been pushed from 2026 to 2027, which is kind of crazy, being that this movie came out, the first one came out in, 2019 or something like that? Insane timeline for this movie. It just keeps getting pushed. It's troubling that they can't nail down a script, but I know it's not easy, especially doing the type of film and stories that they're doing with the Reeves Batman universe. Now we could hit the Clayface movie, and I have a little AI art here. Described as a body horror film, the project is being positioned as a horror film for viewers who might not traditionally be DC fans. So they're going for a broader scope with the Clayface movie and trying to get people that aren't typically your comic book people. They're trying to go after the horror people to bring them in. James Watkins is in talk to direct, which I think is excellent. Speak No Evil, I watched. I really, really enjoyed Speak No Evil. Thought it was great. Casting is underway. Alan Tudyk, if you have watched Creature Commandos, played the voice of Clayface in Creature Commandos, but he will not be reprising his role, it seems like, in the live-action horror film, which kind of goes against what they said in that earlier presentation, that the same person will be playing them in each iteration. I think they've kind of scrapped that. Understandably, I think it'd be hard to schedule. It'd be almost impossible to schedule everything properly, and people are getting older, and time is going quickly, as they stated at the beginning of this talk. Then they went on to discuss Penguin Season 2, which probably is not happening, and if it is going to happen, it's not anytime soon. And And Colin Farrell is not in a rush to play Penguin anyway. And also the Batman Part 2 is, the script's not done, so they don't really know what they're doing yet with this world, so it would make zero sense to greenlight Penguin 2 already. So they did talk about animated shows, which are the lineup of animated shows are very exciting. So they have a dynamic duo animated feature coming out, which is more of a family-friendly kind of take that's focusing on Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Definitely going to be more family-focused to get the families on board. Since they're doing a lot of grittier stuff, obviously Clayface is going to be straight-up horror. So not kid-friendly, but they don't want to leave the kids out, obviously. They're doing a Blue Beetle animated series, which continues the storyline from the 2023 live-action film. So that is going to stay canon to the DCU, it seems, the DC movie universe, which is cool to see because I like Xolo Matadonia from Cobra Kai. He was Blue Beetle. Key creative figures include Angel Manuel Soto as the director, Gareth Dunnett Alcácer as the screenwriter. I butchered that name. So there's a couple people lined up for that. Then we have a new series, which I think is very exciting, and it is My Adventures with Green Lantern. Centers on high school student Jessica Cruz, who unexpectedly becomes the bearer of a Green Lantern ring of power. The story escalates with the arrival of debris from an ancient space war and encounters with alien foes. Executive producer Jake Wyatt and Stephanie Gonzaga as co-executive producer. Probably going to be in a similar style to My Adventures with Superman, which was a very good show. If you have not seen My Adventures with Superman, check it out. Very good animated show. On Max, I think. Yeah, Max. Check it out. I actually still have to finish that series, but it was very good. Kid-friendly, but very well-written and all that stuff. And then we have DC Superpowers. Set in the Alliance School for Heroes, the series follows new student heroes, including Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aquagirl, Green Lantern, and Terra as they train under the watchful eye of Principal Martian Manhunter. So this is going to be a lot cuter. Explores themes of growth, teamwork, and heroism in a school environment. Executive production led by Matt Beans, with Michael Chang serving as supervising producer. Again, a lot of great stuff coming out for the kids, and a lot of these themes you could already see are starting to tie together. It is trying to be very virtuous, bring back kind of the virtue and the teaching to superhero about, how one should be, despite one's circumstances, growth, challenging yourself, all that good stuff that I think especially kids need to learn, and how to work together with other people and how to communicate. So really like that angle. And then I think the last one, they announced a lot of stuff, but the last one that I'm pretty excited for is Starfire, an origin story for the beloved Teen Titans character Starfire. Follows her journey after escaping her home planet, Tamaran, using an ancient spaceship. Introduces a quirky team of supporting characters, Space Biker Crush, Plant-Loving Fern, and the magical Princess Amethyst of Gem World. The series promises cosmic adventures and deep explorations of the DC Universe, executive produced by Josie Campbell, with Brian Druhard as co-executive producer. Very big fan of Starfire. Loved Teen Titans. Teen Titans Go is a lot of fun too. So really excited to see this. I think Starfire could be a really big hit if they do it well. Actually, we do have a comment here. Do you think DC can replicate what the MCU did during the Infinity Saga, or was that once in a lifetime thing? I don't know if they can replicate it. I think they could get close. Here. If they do things right and go with the mandate of we're not going to move forward until a script is done, I think they could build something really cool. I mean, I know us DC fans really want. I love Marvel, but I've always been a more hardcore DC fan, so I've always wanted to see something with the heroes I've love at my core on that kind of scale. Marvel did it well first with the Infinity Saga, but they're starting to kind of peter out. So it's going to be interesting to see what Marvel does now, if they could bring back that. But it feels like they just did almost everything right in that Infinity Saga phase. So I think DC has the chance to do it. Obviously, it's going to be a big swing with Superman. If Superman doesn't hit, might be tough. But obviously, they have a bunch of at-bats. But I think for it to really work, we need Superman and Batman on base. And with the Batman 2 being pushed off, I think they need to move Brave and the Bold up, because I think the really real way to get momentum and groundswell is to have Superman and Batman on board, and then you could start working with the other heroes and really grow out something really cool. So let's go to some of the final rumors and stuff that were addressed. So there was a Sergeant Rock film rumored that Daniel Craig was being floated for the lead for. That doesn't seem to be real. That rumor is not true. He was never attached, but they had kind of discussions about him. Then we have a Teen Titans project that they referenced. A screenplay is being written, or it was submitted, but it is not finished yet. So it seems like Teen Titans is in the works. And then there's a rumor of a Deathstroke and Bane script that screenwriter Matthew Orton is developing, which is true, and that is in development. Deathstroke and Bane, which again, more darker stories. So that's coming. And then we have some other stuff that we have heard of before. There was some rumors and stories that came out a couple months, but they just confirmed. Booster Gold is coming. Superhero comedy series. Nobody attached to that right now. Things are still in the works. Wonder Woman prequel Paradise Lost is still a high priority for DC Studios. I think we definitely need to get the main three on board fairly quickly. So we need Wonder Woman, we need Batman, but I know they want to pace things out. But I think if you're going to do Batman villains or Teen Titan villains, you need to get them established. We have the Swamp Thing film, which I thought was going to happen a lot quicker, but it seems like it is in limbo right now. It was initially in development with plans for a horror inflected take on the Swamp Thing character. Currently stalled because director James Mangold is focused on his Oscar-nominated Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown. Again, the cool thing about these kind of horror-driven DC villain movies is that they're going to be lower budget. And when I mean lower budget, I mean sub $100K, at least before marketing and just for production costs. So it'll be easier for them to become profitable productions if they keep it at the lower 40, 50 million range. I really think that's how DC, they really get scrappy at first and build up from there instead of over investing in kind of the bigger properties. They could invest and make several smaller movies that build out the universe instead of just investing 200, 300 million in a Swamp Thing movie. Nobody wants a $300 million Swamp Thing movie. It doesn't need to be $300 million. You could do it really well if you have people that know what they're doing. You could do a Swamp Thing A24 style kind of movie for $40 million. We've seen so many of these A24 smaller budget horror movies do really well and make well past their budget and their marketing budget and just become these profit making machines. And if that's what they want, they got to try more essentially with these lower budget horror things, which I think is smart. This is why they're doing that. Ray says, hope they can learn from the mistakes from the Snyderverse. We can't have another 10 years gone to waste. I agree. Which is why I think it's good that they are working with kind of these smaller movies that are not for everybody. Obviously, somebody like me will go see everything because I do like horror. I do like the superhero stuff. So I want to see Clayface and I want to see Swamp Thing. I want it to be creepy and weird, but also serve the larger story. So that's really exciting to me. and hopefully they can do it effectively. And it seems like there are people interested, really talented people, interested in working on the DCU. So that's very exciting to me. Obviously, James Watkins, Speaking No Evil, wants to direct the Clayface movie. Like, that's great. Let's see what else. Right, we have the Waller series, which is a prequel to Peacemaker. We're doing a little bit too many prequels, so I don't know about this. The development has been bumpy due to challenges in securing the right script. Again, script issues. People are having a hard time. They're having a hard time really pushing scripts through, but I think it's going to be a good thing in the end. Just don't take it just because you need to get something out. It has to work, which I think they know what they're doing. They have a lot of talented people there. They just have to make the right moves. And then the Authority movie, which we thought was coming out a lot earlier, seems like it might not even happen. Initially envisioned as a big movie that would follow the events of Superman and track a team of heroes with an ends justify the means philosophy, Gunn noted that the script had been difficult to complete and that certain story elements have shifted focus to other projects, leading it to be deprioritized for now, which is fine. And this is why I like their transparency. So they're saying, hey, this script is not working right now. Other things seem to be clicking better. So we're going to put more attention and effort into that, making sure those really work, than trying to ham this like these other projects in just because we said that they were going to work. We have to just admit that they're not working and put the effort into stuff that is. So I really like that. And then there was a bunch of other small projects. There's going to be like a little crypto mini-series that they're putting out as kind of a companion thing to Superman movies. As we get closer to Superman, we're gonna see a lot of other little side projects and little things come up, which I think is cool. I think they need to really work on marketing Superman very soon. By, I think, April, the latest, they have to really start pushing Superman. How would you introduce the Justice League without rushing like the 2017 movie? They need a reason to be together. That is similar to Thanos. They need a reason to be together in that capacity, where they all kind of team up. But the difference with the DCU is that they're going to be living. We're going to be thrown into a world that has superheroes already, and there's going to be already a lot of incidents that occurred as we come into Superman. There's going to be things that have already happened in this universe. Obviously, Creature Commandos happened. There's a lot of stuff. We're jumping into a world that's already frayed, and then we're going to start getting our heroes, and I think we're going to start seeing things lighten up a little bit, especially with Superman. We're going to start seeing things lighten up, and then we're going to have kind of these darker stories with Clayface and Swamp Thing, and the Authority too, if that ever comes out. So I think we have to see a real existential threat to the Earth, especially as things start to get cleaned up a bit, like the heroes start to really rise above the negativity of everything and people start to kind of trust them more. And then we have to see something kind of tear that down or threaten that trust that people are going to have. We want Superman to help us. Obviously, we see that in a little bit in the Superman trailer. We need Batman, and then they're going to have struggle. There's going to have to be something that really, really necessitates them being all on board. Whereas the 2017 Justice League, they kind of teased, everything, but I just don't. It was bad execution. It just wasn't enough time to build up everything. Just not done well. I think we really need an existential threat that is starting. Maybe we even start to feel it at the end of Superman, and it just permeates to some of the bigger name like Batman and Wonder Woman when we get to it, and the Green Lanterns. I think the Green Lantern series is going to be interesting because they're going to be out in the galaxy. We're starting very cosmic, which I think is really interesting. We're starting pretty cosmic with Green Lantern, True Detective series happening. So I'm interested to see what they do. So we're going cosmic first, which makes me think it is maybe a Brainiac thing or something. Well, I'm not sure, but I feel like we need something big to get them all on board. Just to round some stuff out, I don't know if you guys saw this. I'm sure a lot of you did, and this caused a lot of drama online. People on all sides of this. I did like Zack Snyder, but I do think the DCU obviously needs more guidance than the Snyderverse had. It was kind of messy, which wasn't Snyder's fault. There's a lot of stuff going on. Gunn clarified that while the public often pits them against each other, they have maintained a long-standing, friendly relationship since Snyder directed his script for 2004's Dawn of the Dead. So they've worked together before. The photo was intentionally taken to melt the internet and challenge the narrative of the rivalry. So there's no rivalry. They're both very creative people that are passionate about DC superheroes. So I don't really get why people argue. Safran emphasized that while each project is designed to function independently, the ultimate goal is to have these iconic characters interact across films, TV, animation. So they're not including the games anymore. At least not in my write-up. I didn't really notice that. Gunn reiterated, though, that although the projects are not chapters of an overall story, they all contribute to a cohesive, overarching DC universe. So a quick recap. We have some more comments. Snyder's a better director than storyteller. He can give you cool shots and action scenes. I agree with that. I don't think his scripts are the best, but he definitely is a good director, and he seems like he cares. So I hope he gets something in the DC universe to direct, or at least one character that he could direct continuously throughout the DC universe. I think that'll be good for him. So I think that is the majority of it. Again, there's a lot of little things. And stuff is going to keep coming out, but that is it from the DC announcement slate or the re-announcement. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think. We're going to try to do these as often as news comes out that's worth talking about. And I like talking about a little bit about the creative and the business side, so we'll keep doing that as well. But thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you who popped in. Thank you, Ray, for submitting some questions. Hope you could tune in next time. But thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you very soon. Subscribe again, put on the bell, and I'll see you later. Bye.